That'll get me 180 miles. Hello, everyone. I know, I'm the backup, aren't I? Jurgen will be here in a minute, don't worry.
He's been.
Has he been?
Yeah, he's waiting for you, actually.
I know, I'm waiting for him. I've never had a manager on the pitch with me before the game. Felt very German. Managers don't come out. Right, who's in charge?
Well, you seem very upbeat.
Yeah, well, why not? Like, you know, life's too short, careers are short, games are over in a heartbeat. And I thought, apart from the first 10 minutes where we showed Liverpool too much respect, I thought the lads competed as well as they could. I can't be prouder. It was you know, after 10 minutes it felt like an hour, and then after that the game sort of flew by, and we created a few chances on the counter, which on the perfect day for Roy Race would have gone in, but not tonight. And our goalkeeper pulled out a couple of unbelievable saves to keep the tie goalless, and it didn't feel like a goalless game from my point of view, but you'd probably say differently. And then once it goes into penalties, it's just a lottery. I have no, you know, I don't know if I'd want to take a penalty. In fact, when I did, I was about 7th, and I was a centre forward, so that doesn't bode well on my character. So. Yes, I've got no shame in the penalties, and you know, I wish Jurgen and his team all the best in the next round. And you know, they've been nothing but respectful to us all night. So I do leave the ground feeling really proud of my group, and I've really enjoyed the experience. Which prior to coming here tonight, everyone kept saying, "Oh, have a great night," and I'm like, "Have a great night." You winding me up, but in the end, it felt pretty good. The fans really enjoyed it. I hope, like our fans, and yeah, we can leave with our head held high and look forward to all the games coming up.
What's the mood like in the dressing room? Because I imagine there's a feeling.
A bit mixed.
Yeah.
A bit mixed. A little bit of, oh, we were so close, but a little bit, sort of a bit of pride and a bit of so close. And yeah, so it's a bit mixed. I think, obviously, the ones who miss penalties are sort of a little bit more disappointed, but I wouldn't be. But yeah, and it's just about trying to get them to cage that enthusiasm and energy again to go in 3 days' time, 2 days, 3 days' time. Yeah, so yeah, it's mixed, but I think they're pretty proud of themselves as well, really.
The lads who didn't score penalties tonight have come up against the Liverpool keeper, who saved more in penalty shootouts than any other Liverpool goalkeeper.
Wow, that's a good fact. Did he save more than Paul Cooper in his heyday?
Don't know about that.
I see. You're too young, aren't you, for Paul Cooper? You don't know who Paul Cooper is. There's some in the back row going, I know who Paul Cooper is. But yeah, I mean, one of the saves I thought was excellent. So it wasn't so much penalties missed, but good saves. But it was nice to see Didsy score the first one in front of our crowd. He is some human being and has had an amazing career. So I was really pleased that he scored his. And that's a memory that, you know, you can't take it off him.
Just in terms of Derby County, I mean, you're obviously relatively new to the club. That following today and the fans that you get at Pride Park, is that just a reminder of what Derby County should be as a football club? They've had some pretty tough times recently.
Yeah, I mean, in fairness to, you know, David, who saved the club in the summer, like he's trying to do it right and trying to get the club back to where it wants to be. I mean, every set of fans in the country want their team to be in the Premier League. But I think it's fair to say that with the stadium and the training ground and the fan base, this club will one day hopefully get back there. But the fact we brought that many people over tonight, I mean, I didn't see a spare seat in the stadium, let alone the away end, but in pretty difficult financial times shows the passion of the fans and the enormity of the club. I believe we've sold 6,500, 7,000 to go to MK Dons at the weekend. So it's a pretty special club to be at, and I appreciate the size of the job, but if the lads keep performing at that level, then we give ourselves a chance.
Can you enlighten us what you heard him say to you before the game?
Oh, he said loads. Loads. He said about coming in for a drink after. He must have read my thing I said about Pep not inviting us in. So he said come in, which is good. He said to me, I just asked me about how I was so handsome. No, he didn't. He asked me about how I found it from the different size of club. Because, you know, in Germany he went on to Dortmund, and he said, you know, it is a bit different, like the training ground, all the people who were there. How did I find that? How did I find working with a different group of players? Because the squad of players I'd left, some of them in the team had been in my first team for 4 years. So just saying about relationships and saying about how, you know, you have to try and impose yourself on a group and sometimes reinvent yourself as a manager. And, just the usual manager moaning about injuries and, things that, you can't always talk about publicly, but you can talk about with another manager because they feel your pain. So I just said, look, I'd go in after. I'd tell you what I thought, why your team was rubbish, and then what I tried to affect. And then you can tell me where you saw my weakness and where we were rubbish. And you sort of leave, and it's quite like cathartic, really, because he does the same job as me, but obviously on a much bigger scale, by the way. And like I said to my players at half time, look, they're human, the Liverpool players. They're not like, superhuman. They're just bleed like us, have to run like us, have demons like us, miscontrol the ball like us, but not as much. So I had a good chat with him. He's just massive. All I kept thinking was, if my missus is looking at me, this is very demasculating, because it felt like he was 7 foot and I was like in a hole. So, good guy, good footballing guy. And in fairness to Liverpool, and I would say this, and it is creepy, but this is some place, isn't it? When they sung Never Walk Alone before, I got a bit goosepimply. I thought that was pretty amazing. It got louder and louder and louder, and I know there's some clubs with some pretty good songs beforehand, and I have played here before, but it was something else. And then just before we took the penalties, a member of staff who worked in the tunnel came up to us and said, no matter what happens in this, you should be really proud of your team's performance. I think it's been really good, and it means quite a lot when people are respectful like that. I appreciate when you're the away team, there's always animosity. There was no abuse from any fans towards us. In fact, I was having a crack with a few of them. And it just felt like a proper game and a proper atmosphere. And, obviously, I'm not saying it was David and Goliath, but I'm taking Colo off and he's bringing Firmino on. It doesn't seem completely fair, but it was a night that I think our lads can treasure and hopefully our fans can.
What do you hope this can do for your league form now?
Well, my big fear, because I always catastrophise, I think all football managers do, think worst case, is because I've played in these games and I've played the next games and you get the whole manager going, it's after the Lord Mayor's show and all that. And I was conscious of that, hence why I took some of my better players off pretty early on in the game. So I need them to be refreshed for Saturday, but I just hope they take that energy into the game on Saturday. And it's lucky that we're taking, 7,000 or whatever to MK, because the lads are going to need that sort of, level of atmosphere, because it'll be a big fall off a cliff. If we now went and played Torquay like we did, Sunday next, it would feel like, well, no offence to Torquay, but they're not Anfield, are they? So luckily we're going to MK, a brilliant football stadium, taking a massive following, and hopefully the lads, will have a classroom day tomorrow, really. We can't do much on the grass. And hopefully they can, take on the things that we're trying to show them, like they did tonight, and perform again. But you know what football's like. Whenever you think you've nearly got it sussed, you get a good cracking. So hopefully we can refresh them and rest them and go again.
Paul Warne played in his penalties, it was obviously on loan across the park. Alfie in the dressing room after
Who?
Lewis Dalton.
Oh,
On loan across the park.
yeah. How would I rate his loan spell? Oh, wow, good question, mate. Well, Dobbs is all right. He's only a kid, though, isn't he? Bless him. And I appreciate, I think he's is it a blue nose? Is that what you call him? Is that offensive, is it? It's not offensive, is it? I ain't said something like out of order there, have I? Is that blue nose or is that Rangers? I ain't gone full racist, have I, before you quote me and I get sacked? Is it blue? Blue nose. Oh, thank you. So I think he is. I panicked then. I was thinking I could see Sky Sports News, Paul Warne's been sacked. Yeah, so I knew he wanted to play tonight, and he's been excellent for me. But I just thought he hasn't played 3 games on the spin, and I've just got to try and protect my players. I've got a very small group. So after the game, I just shook everyone's hand. I didn't have any issues with anyone missing penalties. I was a centre forward. I got a cup game at Gunners at Arsenal. I think we drew 1-1. We had 10 men for about 70 minutes. Went to penalties. My assistant manager, who's a centre forward, took the 9th penalty. And I think I was a centre forward or a winger at the time, and I took 7th penalty. So I can never criticise anyone who takes a penalty and miss, because my kahunas were small. I think he may be disappointed, but he shouldn't be, because it's a lottery. And in fairness, the Liverpool keeper isn't he has hands. He's not bad, is he? So, but I just think his performance when he came on, I thought he was going to score. A couple of things he'd done was excellent. His loan's been really good. I've been really pleased with him. As with all young loans, it's very difficult to get amazing back-to-back performances. There's certain things in their game that they need to improve, and Lewis is no different, but then I could say that about some of my seniors, so I'm trying to help him. He's a great kid, takes information on really well, and he's got pace, and pace is the greatest gift of all, in my opinion. And he's always a threat. So, yeah, he'll be disappointed, obviously, but he shouldn't be because his performance was really good, and I need him to bounce back for Saturday.
All right, guys.
Is that it? Thank you.